Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that wants to remind everyone that beer makes today look like the tomorrow you wanted yesterday. It's Dale.
Damn, I need a beer after that. Oh, shit. What's going on, man?
What's going on with you?
You. Same old, man.
I just like to mess with you a little bit.
I'm just happy to be back in the house here, bro.
Yeah, we back in the Crack House doing an episode.
Seems like we've been gone for a while, but I guess we really ain't.
Well, we do once a week.
I know, but it just seems like it's been extended time for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. We dropped
I
an
guess
episode
we
early.
dropped it early, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
It could have been.
But it was a killer one, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
Great.
We had 3 interviews in a row.
I know, that was awesome.
Can you believe that?
I know, man, it's crazy. You just take them when you can get them, man.
Yeah.
And
Especially there was a couple there that
when they said, yeah, we'll do it, we're all in.
and they had a specific time that they could do it, and we had to,
Meet the demand.
yes, we had to jump in there and do it.
Hope y'all like that.
Yeah, we worked really hard on that, guys, for you, and try to get these stories out.
Man, when somebody just, says they'll do it and we got this time and we have this time for you at this time, you just do it.
And there was a couple of them that we didn't know if it was going to happen or not.
Right. I mean, even last seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting stressed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's always funny when you
Yeah,
stress.
you love that, don't you?
Yeah.
You love that shit.
It's all that.
Yeah. What's going on? You got any good shout outs, dude?
Man, just guess what?
Hey.
Hey, look at there. We got us an Apple podcast 5-star.
5-star.
Yeah, so we get one from Pennies from Heaven. It's like Pennies from Heaven, but with an S in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So Pennies from Heaven. And it says, home. Your presentation of each subject is awesome, in all caps. It feels like you're sitting right in my home with a big old heart.
Well, just a heart, not somebody's heart, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like we appreciate you, love you guys kind of heart. Yeah.
Hey, we might be sitting in your home. You never know.
Got some beers.
Come knocking on your door.
But no, just kidding you. We really appreciate that. Thanks so much for anybody taking their time to drop over and give us a 5-star and filling out and put a little review in there instead of just clicking the 5-star thing. But anybody does it, we superly appreciate it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we appreciate it a whole bunch.
Can you superly appreciate it?
Absolutely. We just did.
You're damn right.
Yeah, we did. If anybody wants to order anything from the store page, they can.
That's right.
If you just want to go to the website and click on the donate button, you can do that.
You can do that. We don't mind. Do it.
And if you just want to tell a friend about us,
that's good too.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if you don't want to tell nobody,
You can tell the enemy if you want.
yeah. Just listen to us, and we appreciate everybody that
You
listens.
see anybody that looks bored, turn them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do. We just woke up. Hey, y'all over?
Yeah. Y'all want a podcast to listen to? This is us.
Yeah, I'd like to give a little shout out to our friends down at Wings, etc. in Shelby down there. We appreciate it. And you local folks, go by and get you a wing and a beer and tell them we sent you down there.
Yep.
We appreciate them. They take care of us. We go down there and it's pretty good going in town and somebody really supports you.
Yep. And everybody knows your name.
That's right.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Good stuff. So thank you, Mika. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do. Appreciate everybody. All right, but nothing else. We're going to get into our story this week.
Well, you better hurry. Damn, 2 minutes is probably up.
Well, we done some episodes with some interviews, but we don't have an interview this week.
No, we're back in the groove today.
And we're back in North Carolina.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, this is a North Carolina related serial killer case.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
Don't ask him.
Yeah. But this is
Anyway, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, this is daggum good. We've talked about this guy for a while, wanting to do his case, not wanting to do it, put him on a back burner, and moved him up a little bit, set him back a little bit. But now
he's front and center today, baby.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. But this week we are talking about William Dathan Holbert. Yeah. What a name.
Yes.
Yeah, but he had a bunch of aliases that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I think everybody just called him Bill.
Serial killer, formerly known as Wild Bill.
Mm-hmm. Wild Bill Cortez.
Cortez.
Yep. But now, Bill Holbert, he was born on September the 12th, 1979.
He's a youngin'.
Yeah, in Saluda, North Carolina. This is up in the western part of the North Carolina, up near Hendersonville.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How far is that, you reckon?
Not too far.
Okay.
Probably about an hour and a half from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because around here we measure distance and time.
Yeah, not miles.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we value our time pretty well.
Yeah, we all measure. How far is that? That's about 3 hours. That's about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No distance. Yeah, that's what I said, 3 hours. Okay.
That's right. But we're talking about Bill Holbert. Now, he was born to parents William Stanley Holbert and Karen Yvonne Moore. And he was raised up there near Hendersonville, North Carolina. He played football for North Henderson High School.
Mm-hmm.
After graduating high school, he started working as a landscaper and eventually started his own business there in Hendersonville.
Mm-hmm.
And he got married in 1998, and him and his wife, they had 3 kids together, Dale.
Yes, he did. And I think his parents had an apple orchard and a cattle ranch, and they also done some stuff with I won't say landscaping equipment, but something to do with that kind of stuff. So he had an inside. So when he started his business, that's what his business was, landscaping.
Mm-hmm.
So he had an inside route on that, and it took off pretty good at first.
Yeah.
I think he's just lazy.
Yeah, he had a lot of area to roam around up there, too, and do his business with.
Yeah.
Yeah. But shortly after him and his wife had the 3 children, him and his wife, they divorced. It was 6 years after they were married.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Bill, soon after, he declared bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And stopped paying his child support. And his bankruptcy filing listed for over $500,000 in assets.
But he had like $700,000 in debt.
Yeah.
So that's a little upside down.
Yeah, he was highly in debt.
Yeah.
But in 2004, Bill, he became the manager of a gym.
Yeah, he started bodybuilding, doing some stuff, and he started shooting up some steroids, trying to grow himself to a big old man. And then, like you said, he bumped into a guy and started managing one of his gyms.
Yep. It's called the Body Shop.
The Body Shop.
Yep. And the owners there, his name was Kevin Hoover.
Right.
And they owned 2 places. One was in Asheville, North Carolina. One was in Hendersonville. And Bill, he was managing the one in Hendersonville.
Right.
Yeah. And he got to forging checks while he was there.
He was writing himself some checks, wasn't he?
Out of the business account. Yeah. And when he got caught, he ended up telling the owner there, Kevin Hoover, that he thought that was part of his salary.
Yeah.
His business expense.
Mm-hmm.
Living expenses to be able to do that.
Yeah. He must have had a lot of expenses.
Yeah.
He duped him out of about $25,000, didn't he?
But Bill, he agreed to quit there at the body shop, but the Hoovers, they didn't press any charges.
Right. They're like, well, you get the hell out and we're done. I won't press charges.
Mm-mm.
Right.
But while he was working there at that body shop, he had met a woman by the name of Laura Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was, I guess, worked behind the counter or something there.
Yeah.
And they hit it off pretty good.
Yeah.
And they ended up moving in together and living together.
Yes.
And this is when they moved to, guess where?
Cleveland County.
Cleveland County, right here in our own county.
Right up the road here.
Yeah. And this is when they rented it's been described as a 6-room house, but I found this property on Google Earth, and it was a single wide trailer. And it was on 54 acres.
Damn.
Yeah. And they rented this property from a lady by the name of Donna Stevens.
Right.
And Donna's house was on the main road up there. It was actually on Mariah Church Road.
How you say it?
Mariah. But I think it's pronounced Mariah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you live up there where it is, it's Marar.
Mariah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, she lived on the main road there on Mariah Church Road, but, the house he lived in had a little separate driveway that went back up behind the house up on a hill.
Right.
And it was a single wide trailer up there.
That's about 7 minutes from my house.
Wow. That's close, man.
Yeah, crazy.
It is. But they were living there, and when they moved in, get this, they paid up front 6 months of rent in cash.
Yeah, she said you just pulled out a big old wad of bills and paid her for 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he told the landlord he was planning on opening up a gym of his own.
Right.
But
that didn't work out.
It was about 2 months later. This is when Donna Stevens found they had trashed the house and just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
They left behind beer bottles, pizza boxes, and some racist graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
But while they were living here in Cleveland County, they opened up a bookstore, Dale.
Per se.
Yeah, sort of something like that. But this was right up the road in Forest City.
Yeah.
But if you're from there, you call it Forest City.
Yeah, Forest City.
Yeah. But in this so-called bookstore, it was
the Southern National Patriots.
Yeah. It was a racist bookstore pretty much with swastikas and all kinds of...
Confederate flags, swastikas, and anything else you could probably twist into whatever you want to do to it.
Yeah, whatever his agenda was on that racial stuff.
He said he would be up there and ranting about taxes and this kind of thing, so he was out there.
Yeah, he was. So it's somewhere about this point, Wild Bill is sort of getting off the rails a little bit, Dale.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But there was some things that was coming up later that would start getting him some notoriety. This when they moved to Oak Island, out there toward Wilmington, North Carolina, out there toward the coast. And they ended up somehow or another selling a house that wasn't theirs. They forged a deed, and they sold it to a guy and told him that he was a doctor and that he had a sick grandmother, and they was needing the money quick for some medical bills, pretty much.
Right. So he sold his really nice house for about $200,000,
yes.
Which is about what, half the price, you think?
Yeah, I would say half or less than that.
At least half. Or yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what you said. What I mean.
Yeah, but the strange thing is they didn't even own the house. I mean, they forged that deed, and then when the owners came a little while later, it was on a weekend. They came down. They were going to visit their home and stay there for the weekend, just chill out. They were people in their home.
Doing remodeling
and painting. Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So Bill was on the run pretty much after that.
Yeah. So by the time they figured it out, he had already took his cash and was gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was in early 2006, the Wyoming Highway Patrol, they pulled over a couple during a snowstorm near Sheridan, Wyoming. And the officer discovered that the Jeep that they were driving had been reported stolen in West Virginia. It was a fake name. He told him by the name of Luke Kuhn, Kuhn, who was driving was in fact,
it was him.
Yeah, Wild Bill.
Right.
And the wanted man managed to drive off, and he fled into the blizzard, driving over 100 miles an hour. And when the highway patrol once again found the Jeep, it had been crashed.
Right.
And
found a handgun on the seat, but the couples were gone.
Yeah, they escaped once again.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, the authorities say that Wild Bill and Laura Reese traveled as far as Ireland at one point, using aliases such as Donald Lee Bruchart and Michelle Bruchart.
How would they do that without a passport?
I don't know, dude. And records show they rented a U-Haul truck under those names in Bismarck, North Dakota. And the truck later turned up in West Palm Beach, Florida. But this is when Wild Bill and Laura Reese, they ended up in Bocas del Toro.
Yeah.
This is down in Panama.
Yes, it is.
And they started running a hostel. And they were telling people that they were wealthy entrepreneurs.
Yeah, William Adolfo Cortez and Jane Cortez.
That's the names they told them.
Yeah. But down there was a lot of, what do you call it, like expatriate Americans down there living in this little community.
Expats, what they call them.
Yeah, expatriates, I guess is what it means. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
But there were several down there in this little place. So it seemed like I don't know. To me, it seems like an outlawed neighborhood. But I mean, I've seen videos of the place, and it was beautiful down there. These islands and stuff, and then the place where they stayed, and a lot of it was only accessible by boat to get in there and check them out. So it was a really beautiful place. But it was also a good place to go hang out if you were on the run or if you had a past you wanted to hide.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everybody down there had aliases or nicknames, it seems.
But Wild Bill, they had this little hostel and a bar type there on their place. They had an island of their own, and they could only, like you said, they could be accessed by boat. And people would come over, and if they were too inebriated to I guess, to drive their boat back, they allowed them to stay there at their place.
Right.
But the name of their little bar place was called the Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
And
Jolly Roger Social Club.
Yeah. And Wild Bill, he would serve up drinks and cook food, and they just have parties all the time.
Yeah, big times.
Yeah.
Which is probably pretty cool at the time.
But Wild Bill was using this opportunity to get to know these people, because they would come in and start drinking and tell their life stories pretty much.
Yeah, and it's also said that his wife she didn't really party as much, but he partied like hell. I mean, they'd come in Wild Bill, he'd have on a big old Viking helmet and long hair and stuff and be partying and getting everybody talking, and while she's back there listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, they're basically just listening to what people saying.
And when he get all the
notes, you know?
when he get all the cooking done and everybody fed, he would start partying. But it'd been reported that they didn't drink like the rest of them. They would drink water or something that looked like vodka in a bottle.
Right.
And while the rest of them were just getting
hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were using this opportunity to find out information about the people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Finding out how much money they had, what they owned, their property,
anything,
financial assets, anything. They
right.
were what they were doing. Now, one of these Americans that frequented Jolly Roger Social Club. Now, her name was Cheryl Lynn Hughes,
right?
But everybody called her Cher,
right?
And she was 53 years old, and she was from St. Louis, Missouri, and she owned a hotel in Bocas del Toro for about 10 years.
Yeah. She had owned a neon sign shop called Southern Exposure in St. Petersburg, Florida. And her boyfriend at the time had went down here with some other folks to visit. And once they got there, they realized that this is the place they wanted to live forever.
Yeah.
So she sold off her business. No, I don't know if she sold her business. Yeah. So she sold off her business and then went down there, and I figured that's what she used the money to get everything going down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just fell in love with the place down there.
Yeah, I loved it. It was gorgeous. Yeah.
But in March of 2010, Cher attended an early evening party that was hosted by Wild Bill, and she knew, as the Cortezes, you know, when other guests left, that Holbert persuaded her to stay behind and talk about business.
Mm-hmm.
And then he lured her into the jungle to look at some monkeys and stuff.
Right.
And this is when he supposedly shot her in the head.
Yeah, definitely shot her in the head.
Yeah. But nobody was hearing from Cher for a while.
Right. Well, her and her husband had split up. They had had a bad patch come in, and they'd been together, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, I think. And actually, when they came down and they bought that island that they lived on, he was a carpenter, and he went in and he built this immaculate place and stuff, and it was just really awesome. I've seen pictures and videos, and even on there's a Dateline episode that features it. But they had split up, and then while they had split up, he had moved out of the house, and then this is when he was trying to take advantage of her.
Yes.
Because he knew she was by herself. So he thought, well, if she's by herself, nobody's going to miss her. So that's what he did. He took her out to look at the monkeys, and when she turned her head, he shot her in the back of the head.
Yeah, crazy.
Right.
But this is when Cher's estranged husband, Keith,
right,
he eventually persuaded the local police to look into her disappearance, but they couldn't make any progress on it at all.
No, that and her sister, she had called her sister and actually wanted her to come down and spend some time with her. And she was going to do that, but then she quit getting messages from her, and she was freaking out too. She's like, this does not like her, you know. And she tried to get some help from the police too, and it was like, basically, well, a lot of people disappear in Panama. If they don't want to be found, they're not going to be found, and they're an adult. If they want to be found, they'll be back.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is what they were told.
But the family hired a journalist and a retired Air Force officer. His name was Don Winter.
Yes.
To find out some stuff about Cher's disappearance.
Yeah, he'd lived down there for a long time.
Yeah. And her aunt, Mary Whitmire, did what she could do to piece together the story from over here in the United States.
Right.
And Whitmire even spoke to Holbert on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, said she'd met a guy and just got on his sailboat and took off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it just didn't seem like something that Cher would do because, you know, she told her family pretty much everything she'd done, and it just didn't sit well with her at all.
No.
But this is when her aunt, Mary Whitmire, she got suspicious of Holbert.
Yes. Well, basically, he was trying to tell her that she had sold him the house, the hotel, and all of her property and possessions and everything.
Yeah.
And he owned it, he owned it all. So it was like, what the hell's going on here?
And she was on this boat with somebody going around the world, and that he told her that he was going to mail all her jewelry to her and everything.
Right. Well, he was feeding her a bunch of junk, and she's not believing it. She's like, wait a minute, what do you mean did this all yours now? So where's she and what's going on, and why is her stuff still there? And he's like, well, she wanted me to mail it to her. It's like, well, I want to see the deed. He's like, well, I also signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't talk about really what happened. So,
yeah.
So he's trying to tell her that all her jewelry and stuff, he was going to airmail it over or sending an air cargo over to whenever she let him know where she was.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he tried to tell her that he thought she was going to just get an apartment somewhere else. So it's just all a bunch of mess.
Yeah, this one, they called the FBI and the U.S. Embassy in Panama,
Yeah.
and local authorities searched the property, and they found that Wild Bill illegally possessed an AK-47 firearm, which is illegal there in Panama.
Well, Don Winter hooked that up because he told them what was going on or what he thought was going on, and they were interested, but they really couldn't do anything because there's basically no evidence that anything had even happened. But he was thinking, he goes, well, I know this dude's got an AK-47, so he told them that he had it, which is illegally. You can't possess one legally in Panama down there.
That's right.
So he told them that he had one and they need to go over and search for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they did.
Yep. What's crazy is that Cher had a Doberman Pinscher.
Yeah.
His name was...
Jack.
Yes.
He was a brown Doberman.
Yeah. And the dog was there at the Holbert property, and this dog led them to a shallow grave.
Yeah, when they pulled up, the dog met them. And at this time, there was nobody there. They had already got word that people were coming, and they had escaped already. So when they pulled up on the bank, the dog met them and then was just running around crazy. And he kept running up his hill and back down this hill, and up his hill and back down this hill, like, come on, follow me. So they're like, what is going on?
What's the matter with this dog?
Yeah, so they followed the dog, and they go up back to where it's kind of like get overgrowth in the, I guess, jungle, back up in there. And then they found like some dirt that had been disturbed recently and realized what was going on then.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of started digging, and then they found her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the dog
led them to her.
Yeah. Such a good boy.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
I wonder what happened to Jack.
I don't know. I'd love to know what happened to Jack. But this is when the Panamanian investigators, they got to thinking that maybe Wild Bill and Laura Reese may be connected to some other shenanigans that were going on there in Panama.
Right, yeah, because everything was weird.
Yeah, there's another American there. His name was Bo Eisler.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and supposedly he had sold his property to Wild Bill as well. But he has also been missing for a while. So it's pretty wild stuff going on here.
Yeah, but this Bo Eisler, people got to thinking that he was in the witness protection program deal.
Right.
And had something to do with the mafia.
Now, this Bo Eisler, he was actually a retired New Mexico gallery owner that had lived down there for several years. And he had a really nice place, but he was about tired of the island life, and he wanted to go back to the States. Mm-hmm. So he had put out an ad looking to sell his property. And guess who shows up to try to buy the property?
Wild Bill.
Right. So he showed up, and he got his property too. But the deal is, down here, if you have the documentation or if you have all the bare shares to the property or whatever, then you own it legally.
Yes.
So what he would do is he would go in and then talk to these people. Like he went to the Bows and talked to him for a while, and then they were trying to work out something, and then they finally come out with a deal, whatever it's going to do. And
I think they went back and forth for a while.
They went back and forth for a while, and then when he found out what was going on and where all this paperwork was, then he killed him and take all the paperwork. Then he owns the place.
Exactly.
So that's what he was doing. He was doing that, and he would take it over, and then he would do something, fix it up a little bit, and he would sell it to somebody else and get cash to run on for a while.
That's right.
And then so that's the same thing that he did to Cher. When found out what was going on with her, and him know that her husband had moved out, and got to talking to her and found out what she had and what money she had and the bare share of that thing. She did that, and he'd taken over everything.
Yes.
So he just said, well, I got the paperwork, so it's mine. And who's going to say anything different, because they're dead.
Yeah, this is how Wild Bill was making his money, because when he would have his parties there at the Jolly Roger Social Club, they couldn't figure out, because he wasn't making any money.
Right. He just said he was doing good to break even, but he made out like he was loaded, and that's why he was buying these properties. And
yes.
Stuff. Yes.
And just sell them for whatever he could get out of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Backing up a little bit to where we were, and because he had killed Bo before. I think it was before he killed Cher, right? Because he had been missing for several months.
Yes, that's right.
That. So, and then when once they come to the property looking for Cher, or to go to the house to see what's going on, and the dog takes her to the body, they've already gone. So Holbert and Reese are on the run. So they had taken off in trying to get the hell out of there. So they went to Costa Rica, and once they got into Costa Rica, the problem is that their faces and everything had been splattered everywhere. So they went in and tried to get a hotel room or to rent a cottage or something. And the guy who owned it actually knew what was going on, and he called the police.
Yes.
So when he called the police come to get him. Well, they were taken off again. So they decided they were going to go to Nicaragua. There was a little slip of place where they could get into that country. But they had to go by boat. So they went to the marina, and a guy had a speedboat down there. So they just took him and threw him overboard and took his boat and took off. But some soldiers from either Costa Rica or Nicaragua, they knew what was going on, and they seen him, and they all went out and under machine guns.
Yes.
they kind of like, hold on, son. So he didn't. He just give up right there because they had him dead right. So it was either they were going to kill him or he's going to give up. So that's when they grabbed him and put him in handcuffs.
Yep. Him and Laura both.
Yes.
But Panama issued an arrest warrant 2 days later, and Nicaragua immediately extradited the couple.
Right.
And the media met the couple as they got off the plane in Panama City. And Wild Bill joked with the reporters and acknowledged that he'd had a lot to straighten out with the Panama officials.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just the way he is.
So as soon as they got him, he pretty much just spilled his guts and told them everything he got.
Mm-hmm.
So while during the questions, he started talking about stuff, and then they wanted him to draw a map to where the bodies were. So he took a little piece of paper and drew everything out, but instead of 2 X's, there was 5.
Yeah, for 2 X's they thought was Cher and Bo Eisler.
Right, for, the graves or whatever.
Yeah.
They were 5.
And it's like, what's these other 3?
So what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
So come to find out, he had met up with some guy named
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown.
Yes.
So he met up with Mike Brown, and he went to go to their house, and he was going to stay for like 2 or 3 days, and I think they were talking about selling this house too, but I'm not sure. Anyway, he was there, and when he first started talking to the guy, Mike Brown actually told him that he was wanted on drug charges because he was a former drug runner. And then so he was talking about he was going to just kill him for his money, but he was going to rob him. But once they took the boat and went to where he lived and saw what kind of place he was living in, he decided right then and there that he was going to kill him and take this place over.
Yeah, this place was nice.
So yeah, it was like a large house. So he went in and
I mean, it was so nice that they had a son that had his own skate park there inside the house.
Yeah, on the second floor or something.
For skateboarding, yeah.
Yeah.
In the house.
Inside the house. Yeah, it's crazy. So it was Mike Brown, his wife, and their 17-year-old son that lived there.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went in and stayed a couple of days, and on the second or third day, he told Mike he wanted to take him out and show him where the well was on the property. So when they got out there to the well, once Mike turned his back at the well, he shot him in the head and killed him.
Yep.
So then he went back into the house and told his son that his dad wanted him to bring a shovel out and help him out right here for a second. So being the good son he is, he gets a shovel to come out there, and when he does, Holbert kills him too.
Yeah.
And then goes back to the house, and the wife is there because she, on this big plantation or whatever, they grew their own fruits and vegetables and stuff. She was out there working a garden, and when she turned her head, he killed her too and took his. So all this property, they come to find out, was where he was living, and then him and his wife, they built that bar. So the whole time everybody was going to meet him and hanging out at his bar, this was actually a place that he had already killed 3 people and taken their place.
Yeah.
So yes, it's just wow,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the whole time he's killing these people just basically to take their stuff.
Yep. Wild Bill confessed to killing 5 Americans in Panama.
Yeah.
And prosecutors say that Wild Bill befriended the victims, shot them in the head, and then buried their bodies.
Yep.
And one of the victims was, like we talked about, this Mike Brown. He was a career criminal. And I think he was just on the run down there.
Yeah.
But it was on the run for drug running and
drug charge, yeah.
And escape from prison.
Yeah.
But Wild Bill contested the prosecutor's version of all these events and of the killings during the investigation at his trial. He confessed but maintained that all 3 events were contract killings ordered by a drug cartel and their associates. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, once everybody's wondering why did he just spill his guts as soon as they got him, it's because he knew there's not a death penalty in Panama.
That's right.
So, and he also knew that the maximum that they give you is 20 years for murder down there. So he also knew that if he could get it done in time, that everything would be charged and all his sentences would run concurrent.
Yeah, if we get them all done at the same time.
So he's thinking, I'm out of here in 20 years. Don't matter. I'll just go ahead and tell you now. And he was saying that, his wife didn't do none of this. Don't charge her with nothing. But
yeah, they charged her too.
Yeah, and it didn't really work out the way he wanted it to work out.
Yeah.
So once everything's spelled out, they come out and they gave him 46 years and 6 months.
Yeah, she ended up getting 20 years.
Okay.
Laura Reese did.
Right.
Yes. And they ended up divorcing.
Yeah, she left.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she didn't really have a chance.
Didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Wild Bill was sentenced to prison, and while in prison, he now operates a syndicated Christian inmate organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's no longer Wild Bill, but he's
Brother Bill.
Yeah. He said he found God, but don't they all?
Yeah.
But that's what he's doing in prison.
Yeah, and I listened to an interview with him, and man, he's a con man, and he's making up all this mess. He's just basically, talking about I was a bad guy and I'm getting what I deserved, and when I shot those people, they died in an instant and didn't feel a thing, and I'm not a serial killer because I don't have a bloodlust, and it was all contract killing, and I don't believe that contract killing for nothing.
Nah.
He did it all for money and to get personal gain, just to like I said, take over the property and steal their money. I mean, he was taking their companies and everything because he had everything that those folks had. Anything, if they had a business, it was now his.
Yeah.
So he took it all over. But yeah, he's still, I mean, he says he's done some good stuff down there or whatever, but who knows what's going on really. But he likes to talk, and there's plenty of interviews if you want to go out and find one.
He likes to be the big guy wherever he's at.
Yes, he's the center of attention.
Yeah, and he says he's a rock star there in the Panamanian prison.
Right.
And pays cash to get conjugal visits with his new wife. He's remarried, and he has a burner phone there in his cell that he uses, and
calls people and does interviews.
Yeah,
and he's written 2 books, and he's on Instagram, and he's on I think on Facebook somewhere, and then he has people sending him money and stuff because he basically said that he needs money because they don't provide you with clothes and soap and toiletries and all that stuff down there. It's just prison's a whole different thing, so he basically has to buy everything. But I don't know. It seems like he's still a damn con man, if you ask me.
Yeah, he is. But hopefully he won't get out anytime soon. But yes, that's where he's at. He's down in Panama in prison.
No, I think he came up for parole not long, or not come up for parole, but he had a meeting to see if he was going to be granted early leave or anything, but I'm pretty sure he was denied.
Yeah. But now the Panamanian authorities, Costa Rica, and the United States, they are reviewing other crimes, and they're trying to make sure that Wild Bill and Laura Reese haven't gotten away with anything else.
Right.
They're checking all these other places too.
I'm sure there's a bunch that they don't know about.
Oh, yeah. Basically, they were traveling cross country in a stolen vehicle, and
right, and all this down on the islands, all within a 5-year span, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and it sure didn't hurt his feelings to shoot somebody in the head and take their stuff.
I guess this was a perfect little place for him down there in Panama because people are down there. They just come and go.
Right.
They'll disappear.
Yeah, because everybody down there is fake names.
Yeah.
Or not everybody, but you know what I mean.
Especially the Mike Brown.
And if you think about it, once he took over the Mike Brown place and built a bar, I mean, hell, if he had just laid low, he'd have got away with that.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew. And if it wasn't for the family of Cheryl, then he still might be getting away with it.
That's true.
Because they really pushed, because they nah, there's some shit going on with her. She wouldn't be like this. And
That's
she
right.
darn sure wouldn't sell her place, and especially to you.
Yeah, and leave her dog.
And leave her dog and all her stuff.
Yeah, Jake, her dog, that was her buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she her, man, she was a good lady. She went down there and she was done a lot of stuff with those kids in Panama. I mean, it was just that, and she's saving animals and stuff. She was just a really good woman, and she's just talking to the wrong damn place.
Yeah.
To the wrong person.
But that is the story of William Dathan Holbert.
Ooh-wee.
Wild Bill, who once lived right here in Cleveland County.
That's crazy, man.
7 minutes from your house.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary, ain't it?
It is, ain't it? Yeah, we talk about this every once in a while. That's connections that's come through here.
They've just been right here and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good thing we didn't know it, I guess.
But anyway, that's it. That's Wild Bill.
Yeah, and if you want to dig into that a little deeper, there's plenty of interview. There's also a Dateline episode, and it's really good, and some other stuff. So I encourage you to check it out and dig a little deeper if you want. But yeah, it's a good story.
Yep.
Good story about a bad guy.
And there's a book by Nick Foster called The Jolly Roger Social Club.
Right.
It's available on Amazon, Audible, and all that stuff if you want to check it out.
Yep. And I think he's got a book, what's it called? Long Live the King, Wild Bill, I think is the first one he put out. And then he wrote another one, but I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to post pictures of Wild Bill. He was a big old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, check it out.
Alrighty.
All right, dude, we're going to get out of here.
Let's roll, bro.
We want everyone to be safe. Please be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.